Just a few weeks ahead of Taiwan's presidential and legislative elections on January 16th, the three candidates for the presidency, Eric Chu, James Soong, and Tsai Ing-wen, engaged in a series of debates and separate policy platform forums. In the second platform presentation, the candidates touched on U.S. pork imports, pensions, property, and of course, China. On the controversial issue of allowing U.S. pork containing the leanness-enhancing drug ractopamine into Taiwan, the opposition party DPP's candidate Tsai said that if elected, she will take into consideration the practices of Japan and South Korea, which have allowed such pork to be imported. She criticized her opponent Chu for accusing her of being willing to risk the safety of Taiwan's people and argued that he should be realistic and know that the pork issue is tied to whether Taiwan can enter the U.S.-led Regional Free Trade Group, TPP. She insisted she will not soften her stance on ensuring Taiwanese people's health and food safety. Tsai also promised to tackle the problem of what she said were excessive pensions and other benefits for retired civil servants, including soldiers and teachers.
未来15年4大退休基金将陆续破产。如果今天我们还不认真的处理年金的问题，无论是军公教、退抚基金还是劳保年金，都可能会在我们这一代的手上走向破产。
She said people in those jobs are not the target of reforms, but partners, and promised that the government will ensure that they can grow old with dignity. Tsai, considered a shoo-in to win according to most opinion polls, also introduced her housing policy, promising to ensure that everyone can afford a home. She said she'll combat property speculation and supports the practice of property owners paying taxes based on the actual price and value of their property. She also proposed a social housing policy that aims to build 200,000 units of public rental housing in 8 years, saying the demand now far exceeds the supply.
The
ruling party KMT's candidate, Eric Chu, has criticized Tsai's policies as being vague and unrealistic. In terms of her housing policy, for example, Chu questioned where she would get the money and land to build so many public housing units. He proposed instead that the government make use of the estimated 800,000 vacant units in Taiwan by giving property owners incentives to rent them out. More importantly, he has warned a victory by Tsai will lead to unstable relations with China, because she has not made clear how she will be able to help Taiwan maintain good relations with the mainland. Ranking third in the opinion polls, People First Party Chairman James Soong warned Tsai that her party's biggest problem is that it's becoming more like the KMT.
当民进党变成有产阶级的时候，就忘掉了当年民进党的先贤们奋斗为劳工发声，为这些农民的这些仇恨在那边为他们伸张。这10几年来的台湾的乱和惨，难道民进党 就不需要负责任吗？你们至少也执政过，也成为第2大党。
He urged the DPP to put a priority on cross-strait relations because they're inextricably tied to the Taiwanese people's livelihood. He asked the DPP to come up with a more practical way of dealing with cross-strait issues. Despite the candidates smiling and joining hands after the second platform presentation, the race is becoming intense. As many as 30% of the voters remain undecided according to opinion polls, so these swing voters could end up deciding who becomes Taiwan's next president. CNA, Taipei.